Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to The Way We See It with yours truly, Mr. Blazeman. It is Tuesday, 11/21/2023. Thanks, baby. I really appreciate that, darling. Sponsored by Canada Dry Ginger Ale. So, we got a big show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about, as usual, because the world never stops. So, without further ado, we're going to bring in my boy, Mr. Donnie. How are you tonight, sir? Can't hear you, bud. I don't know if your mic is muted.
Yeah, I muted. Sorry,
Okay,
because
there
you
you
were doing thing. Yeah, not
How are
good.
you tonight? Doing good?
Good, man. Good. You guys?
All right, doing well. And
those
ladies
listening,
and gentlemen, right, without further ado, we're going to bring in the one and only Mr. B, ladies and gentlemen.
How are we doing? I heard earlier, just before we started the show, that we're getting into some discussions about things, how things have been proliferating with things like piercings and tattoos and skin art and things like that. And I had just come to find out that my former wife herself got a new tattoo for the holidays, a tramp stamp back there. I guess they call it a tramp stamp. It says, "Here comes Santa Claus." Unbelievable.
I'm sorry. You're telling me somebody in the age of 50s and 60s went and got a tattoo that says Santa Claus is coming? Just gonna, damn, wow. All right, all righty then. Okay, hey, kudos to that tattoo guy, because that had to be damn near nasty to do that fucking tattoo. God dang.
I want to be the ink salesman.
Yeah,
Tattoo her fat ass.
What if somebody rips like a huge fart or something? You know what
I don't know, but at some point you gotta tell yourself, man, this shit ain't good no more. Just let it go.
Yeah,
let it go. Right? I don't know. I don't get it.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're missing Mr. D. He is on the show tonight, but he's got a contractor at his house, real quick. So he'll be on pretty soon. If you all, okay, he says I'm here. Okay, whenever you're ready, light up your. There you go. And here's my boy, Mr. D. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, Blaze Man. Mr. B, how are you?
Outstanding, my friend.
Yes, next one, Mr. Donald, how are you?
What's up, bro? How y'all doing, man?
I'm good. I support Israel. Back to you, Blaze.
I gotta tell you, have got the finest volume coming through that I've ever heard from you. I don't know what you did, but keep doing it, because it's loud and clear, my friend. I'm glad to hear it.
Roger.
Yeah. So, what was I saying, Mr. B, before I had to put D in camera?
We were talking about the show we've got coming up tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about, and then D came up and he said, "Oh, no, I'm here." So, and that's what shut it down.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of. Thank you, Mr. B. I appreciate that. So, but there is a lot of madness going on out in the world, and I'd like to open up with tonight with the New Hampshire hospital shooting. Sounds like Donnie's not fucking in the mood for that. God damn.
Sorry, man. I
Is-
couldn't help that.
That's okay.
The New Hampshire hospital shooting.
So when we got about 2 million people someday fucking watching our show, they're gonna
no.
clip that part of Donnie. Listen to Donnie, everybody. You don't want to fucking hear it.
Shit.
You couldn't have laughed more if you told them that Bill Cosby was the new bartender in your local town bar.
Right?
Why do we have to go to Bill?
Something like that. But yeah,
Hey.
just go ahead, Donnie.
No, I was gonna say about Bill, man. Hey, Bill was slinging that thing everywhere he could stick it. Man.
Yeah,
Come on,
man.
Let the man be. He got his freaky on, but he just went a little too far.
Yeah, with Quaaludes. That
Yeah. You went a little too far on that one, Bill. That shit ain't cool, bro.
shit. Hey,
I was good at everything else. You want to be a man whore, go for it, bro. I'm good. Hey, do your thing.
let me go out to the barn real quick, Peggy.
Yeah.
Let me grab some of these pills we give the horse.
Yeah, right. One more Quaaludes. She don't love you in the morning, man.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
You ever try to talk to
man.
someone who's on Quaaludes?
Don't worry. She'll have a couple of Quaaludes and she'll love me all over again in the morning.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say Scarface. No, she don't love you in the morning, huh, puppy? No.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So okay, so the only reason why I wanted to talk is because my fucking wife works at the hospital. You know what I mean? I don't need to start hearing this shit. Fucking nuts going into hospital and shooting
Let's
people up.
look at the main juice of this apple, my friend. The state people, in their infinite wisdom, fucked up royally. This guy was in there being treated. He should never have had the weapons that he'd had. Should not have had any firearms at all.
He was in where? The
was
hospital?
Was this the soldier?
He was an inpatient in the hospital. I believe it was back in 2015, they said.
Yes.
Oh, so is this a mental hospital?
Yes.
Yeah, is it? Asked and answered. Is it a mental hospital? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude he went through there because he was found unfit for trial mentally at one point. That's why he was there. So I don't understand is that dude's unfit for trial. Don't they stay somewhere until they're fit for trial? I mean, the shit you did just doesn't go away, but apparently it goes away, I guess. And then
unless he illegally obtained the guns.
Okay, so how is it really that hard to get an AR-15? No.
Or unless he was a Democrat.
No. Them guns he got, you go to a private gun sale, a private gun show, private sellers don't have to reveal all that.
No.
They can
Here's
sell
the
you
big
an AR-15.
question.
They don't have to do that shit. So yeah, that's easy to get those guns.
He had other weapons inside this rental van apparently that he had with him. All he did is he walked in with a handgun.
And it's too much. That's too flaky to me that this guy or person or whatever had some master plan. That's some bullshit here.
It sounds to me like he was there to do an execution, not to do a mass shooting. Why would you have all of that hardware but not have it with you and go and carrying it? Why?
There was somewhere I read or a video I watched about that New Hampshire shooting, and the person was saying that their wife worked at that hospital at that time, and when that person came in, he pointed that weapon and he shot at somebody else. The glass didn't break. The security guard came around the corner. That's when the security guard got shot. Yeah, that person was looking to kill somebody else entirely. That for what that person was saying. So I'm wanting to see if anything more of that comes out. And that's a person from, secondhand for somebody that says they're an eyewitness.
Hey, New Hampshire, a purple state or a blue state?
I think it's blue.
New Hampshire is a it seems like a dyed-in-the-wool blue state, but there's an awful lot of red that's been coming out lately. And I know for a fact in my neighborhood, ain't no blues around here.
You all got your Trump flags up?
Trump flags, vote Republican banners, name it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we talking about this dude or Bill Cosby?
Well, I just mentioned Bill Cosby because think of Bill Cosby in your as the bartender now in your local bar. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
No, but you want to talk about the New Hampshire dude? There's a
Bill's
fine
a
case
big
where
pedo.
the system itself failed somebody. If this person was so bad, how did they get to that point that they just got let go of? And there's a lot of law enforcement and some other people that talk. They say the transients and stuff. They learn to play the game. I know. I saw some of them in where I lived when I was a kid. They knew how to play the game. They go do something and go take something from the grocery store. I was bagging groceries. They're going to steal from the grocery store because winter's coming and they know they're going back to jail for 90 days. That way they had somewhere place warm and they had a bed. And then come the summer when it warmed up, they didn't want to be there. They're all nice and they're good and they behave and they're let out. That's something that person had a lifestyle of that. So
a little more background on this guy you probably should know about is that apparently he himself worked in some sort of a support facility for people with mental problems.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're saying this guy, there's just so many things that don't make sense about this whole shooting. The guy worked for the place. He was a mental health support guy. So, okay, the site got, whacked out and he went crazy. But it's just a lot of details that don't make sense.
But Donnie, you got to understand the locale of this shooting in regards to the United States. It's like in liberal country, dude. And with all, with Maine that just happened, and dude, they take gun laws up there very stringent, dude. Very.
Right, but like I said,
the problem is in this case, if this person actually purchased these weapons after the point of having been hospitalized, after the point of also, by the way, having had restraint orders against him because of domestic violence, they did get dropped. They did get dropped, but it's my understanding once those things are there, they're there, and you don't get issued guns after that. Somebody somewhere along the line, if this guy did go through the system and properly purchase these from a licensed dealer, somebody screwed up big time.
It's a lot quieter here this morning than it was last night, but you can see there is still somewhat of a scene here behind me. There's still some police tape up and you can see some flashing lights in the back. Police have not yet discussed a possible motive for this shooting, but say the situation was contained to the hospital lobby.
Shot fired at the state hospital. One security officer down, one shooter on the first floor.
Chaos unfolding in Concord after an active shooter opened fire in the lobby of New Hampshire Hospital, killing a security officer. The call for help came in just before 3:40 yesterday afternoon. A New Hampshire state trooper quickly jumping into action, shooting and killing the suspect. Officials have identified the security officer who died in the line of duty as 63-year-old Bradley Haas. Haas had previously served as the Franklin police chief, working with that department for 28 years. And before that, Haas served 3 years as a military police officer with the Army.
The victim was administered CPR on site and transported to the Concord Hospital. Unfortunately, that individual is now deceased.
No patients were injured during the shooting. A police academy graduation was happening near the hospital when it all happened. Additional troopers immediately rushed to the scene to get the situation under control.
There was a very quick response, other than the trooper being on scene when the incident happened. Additional troopers were here within minutes.
A box truck near the shooting scene was examined by the state police bomb squad. Officials say they later determined that it wasn't a threat. The circumstances of the shooting and why the shooter did it are still under investigation. And a hotline has now been set up for family members of New Hampshire hospital staff and for patients who are looking for information. That number is 603-271-3004. That's 603-271-3004. Reporting live in Concord, Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Mr. B.
I can warm it up, Mr. B. Are you ready to
Help
go?
yourself. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What happened? I was there in August. Me and Blaze went up there. We slapped some heads around. We leave your state, and it goes to shit. Do we need a visit again? Blaze, you down?
But that's what I'm saying. You know, Mr. B, I got to say, for the
I'm
2
joking,
days
buddy.
for the 2 days that Mr. D and I were up there was absolutely no crazies around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
not even.
I understand. It's just the way it happens. You know, I think the luck of the draw.
No.
Sometimes you pull this,
No.
you pull the fabric and it starts, and sometimes it.
He just shot a fucking other dude in Manchester, fucking New Hampshire.
Well, that's a daily occurrence over there. That's
Yeah,
all drugs.
Oh, really? So you're saying next time when D and I head up to your way, are you going to receive us this time?
Provided I'm not taking pills that make me pee like a racehorse on Lasix.
Nah,
Listen,
That's what I'm
it
doing.
ain't the first time we're going to see a guy run behind the house to take a fucking leak, Mr. B. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't make it behind the house. That's the problem.
We got fucking tell Mr. B. Mr. B.
Donnie,
Mr.
Donnie's-
B's gonna tell his wife fucking that she needs to go out for the day. But what's the matter, Donnie?
Everybody watching, hey, you know, we apologize for having this
Square.
about some of these bowel movements. I really do
He
apologize.
said peeing,
But,
Donnie. Whose
Well,
head's
but like-
where?
all this happened too, you
but
know.
like-
Whose head's
like-
where?
Those things. It's a pretty
Like,
reasonable occurrence.
anyways, you guys are so hung up on how this guy got guns. It's so easy to get an AR-15. You could put one together by buying parts online. It's so easy to take apart and put together. It's
Why
not
are you
even funny.
focusing on the AR-15? What are you, the news media? This guy had 4 or 5 other guns. He didn't use the AR.
Wait a minute.
It doesn't
Talk
matter.
one at a time. One at a time, please.
It doesn't matter. You guys are so set on how he got these guns. He got the guns. I remember going from Fayetteville, North Carolina to New York Thursday night to Friday morning. I was in New York on I-95. You can get there and get shit up and down. It's easy. So everybody's got to stop with this. Oh my gosh, they had so many guns. What are we going to do? It's not the fucking gun. It's the person.
Hey,
And then the
Donnie.
fucking
Oh, right.
dog.
We understand
on.
it's not. We understand it's not the
Understand that.
gun.
The problem is,
But the problem is
Fuck.
exactly what you're gonna say, Mr. B, is how somebody who's fucked up as this dude was got the guns.
or if he had
It
them,
doesn't
why he
matter.
still had them, because
You
they
listened
should have
to
been
a-
taken.
You guys didn't listen to a fucking thing I said earlier.
I
told
certainly
you
did.
earlier.
We just ignored
What
it.
did I say about, okay, then you ignored it like a dumbass, and I told you, private sellers don't have to have the requirement. That dude could have went to a private gun show, and he could have done it. I got a dude that runs around where I do
I don't
my
know,
delivery
Donnie,
shit.
though. Where
I
though?
can have him bring me a shotgun, and we can exchange money and shotgun in an HEB parking lot, in a store parking lot here in Texas.
That's there,
That's how
Donnie.
easy it is to
Yes.
get a
That's there.
gun.
Massachusetts
but-
and New Hampshire, the
It's the
laws are
same
fucking different,
shit
man.
with the it's the same shit over there. You just gotta know
I
how to
understand
get
that,
up and
Donnie,
down.
but where's this kid gonna go? This what you're saying? This kid traveled to fucking California because you can't
No.
have an open buy gun show in New Hampshire. It's
I tell you,
illegal.
you didn't listen to what I just said
Massachusetts is.
earlier.
And
I was
Massachusetts
from
is illegal as
Fayetteville,
well.
North Carolina. Y'all understand where North Carolina is?
Yes.
All
I will
American.
be up to New York
Oh,
by
here
Friday
we go.
morning. By Friday morning. It's not
Okay.
that far of a
All
trip,
right.
so you can go down there and you can come back up.
Hey,
You can get
hey.
down to Alabama by 2 days.
Donnie,
Easy.
Donnie, but yes, it is easy. But you said the
Yeah.
key point, New York. After New York, that I-95 corridor state goes down to 2 lanes. That's it.
Yep.
They maybe go to 3 lanes, but they do that on purpose, man. You know, they say it's a drug corridor and weapons, I guess weapons, but dude, that is heavily enforced, bro, by the man.
Okay. Okay, but
And then you get up and
they,
you get up
does the
95, you get up
manufacturer
into the
100%?
Bridgeport
No.
area, and then it's anything goes.
But
No, but
Donnie,
look what he did. Look what he did. Supposedly he got a U-Haul rental
Guys,
van, right?
it's some order. Go ahead, Donnie.
Guess what he got a U-Haul rental van or whatever. How many times you go up and down the highway and you over here and wait over there where you're at, and guess what? You see a Texas or you see an Arizona, because that's where a lot of U-Haul is stationed at headquarters is Arizona. So you see Arizona license plate on that, and how many times you think, oh, it's a U-Haul, somebody's moving? No big deal. Fuck it, keep on going.
yeah,
All right, bud.
all right, but
Come on now.
you bring your ass up there in that Dodge beautiful truck of yours with them Texas plates. I bet you before you hit Connecticut,
You get pulled over.
Exactly. You damn right I will. They want to have that fucking redneck ain't coming up there doing shit in my country.
No, bro, because
They pulled me over.
no, it's funny you brought this up because somebody made a comment about this Tyrus on the Greg Gutfield show, and that Cat Timp chick, she's a narcissist. Stay away from her, Blaze. She's just trouble.
She's a skinny, bony. She's a skinny, bony white chick. They don't do anything good for anybody.
No, but what old boy Tyrus said was he said something, and he says the real calling sign was about the Palestine and Israel. People getting stupid. We all need to chill. We're running up to a civil war. But then Tyrus says the FBI those ain't ones I'm afraid of. It's them guys that got them buzz cuts and white guys in the pickup trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what he said. And I would just like to say the silent majority is still out there, and I would like to think I'm one as well.
Yeah.
All I'm saying here is it just kind of it just kind of made me think a little bit. You know what I mean? Shit happening in a hospital. But number one,
well,
I don't think he was capable enough to go fucking drive into North Carolina to buy a gun and drive all the way back to fucking New Hampshire. I could be wrong because people are fucking, people are crazy like that. You know what I mean? People would do that.
How about Esteo? Maybe Esteo did it from. That's for our Spanish and Portuguese listening viewers today.
Yeah. He could have had a mule go. He could have had a mule go do his go pick it up.
Right.
But Donnie, and like you said here, with the whole thing, you can go anywhere and buy a weapon, but up there it's it's a big voodoo, man. It is a big voodoo when you start talking about guns. I mean, it all the way from the state house down to the lowest level cop, man. They just hate civilians having guns. Period.
Well, okay, they don't like.
No, there's a hate, Donnie. They'll skull drag you.
They hate certain civilians having guns.
Yes.
Okay? I have guns. They don't hate me. I've been pulled over, and I carry a piece. And as soon as they pull them over, I tell them I have a piece with me. They say, no, we don't need to see this, that, whatever else. You give me a license and registration or whatever else, and that's that, and whatever. It's happened to me. The last time I got pulled over and by a police officer, and I was carrying. Actually, it happened about 5 years ago. It was just turned into just about midnight. I was coming back from an auction, and I got pulled over, and I had a .357 caliber handgun with me, and I told the police officer, she said, I don't need to see your gun, I need to see your paperwork, whatever else, just your license and registration, and that's that, and that's it. The thing about it is that they don't want to have strangers that they don't know from out of town. That's what unnerves them, because we have the problem of strangers from out of town, especially ones coming up from over the border in Massachusetts, that along with the guns come the drugs and other problems that are there. But they don't hit you simply because you happen to have a gun.
No, they're just hardcore don't anti-gun. Nobody needs a gun but the police and whatever. I get that, but this is the part of conversation that gets aggravating for me when we talk about guns, because it's just concentrated on the guns. He had the guns. He had the guns. Nobody concentrates on, hey, look what the system just failed this dude that supposedly he was there for mental stuff, and did he ever get cleared or whatever? Then how come he didn't go on trial again for what he did wrong? Where's that program that, hey, there's a loophole that maybe we should shut down or figure out how to fix in the next legislation, or maybe somewhere locally, something. How about you concentrate on that shit?
Besides a good investigative reporter that's going to find out who is responsible for this man having guns, be it the weapons registration, whatever, the government needs to police itself when it comes to that.
Yes.
And that's the problem. It's just we fucked up. Donnie, many a times we've jacked up in the Army. And when we come back, we'll talk about being jacked up in the Army.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for more of The Way We See It. Check it out.
Drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria last week. More of an impact than we previously knew about, with the concerns raising some fears that U.S. soldiers and citizens and Americans living in the region could end up caught in the crossfire of a bigger war. Right now, these U.S. warships are gathering in the region. There's the second aircraft carrier group set to arrive really any day. And the mission here for the destroyers and cruisers and jets that you see here for now is to bring this kind of show of force to scare off anybody trying to take advantage of the chaos between Israel and Hamas. That could change fast, though. Of course, if a big number of Americans need to get out of some kind of rapidly escalating war in the region, if this does expand. I want to bring in NBC's Courtney Kube, who is joining us now. Pull back the curtain with the reporting that you're working on here, Court, and the people that you're talking to at the Pentagon, how much they are thinking about the potential for perhaps evacuations down the road, how much that is sort of a plan D rather than a plan B. Walk us through it.
So a big part of what you just showed on screen there, the U.S. military that's in the region that's being moved into the region, a big part of the region that they're going is, yes, for deterrence, yes, for a show of support and defenses for the region. But another piece of that is for this potential, if Americans have to be brought out of Israel or even a number of countries around Israel, those military forces there could support. One of the main efforts would most likely be from a Marine Expeditionary Unit, the 26th MEU. It is in the northern Red Sea on the USS Carney. One of the things that a Marine Expeditionary Unit, or a MEU, trains for is a non-combatant evacuation. So they have the training to go into a place, especially if it's a contested or dangerous environment, and provide security and get Americans to safety. One of the options, it may not be one of the primary options, but one of the potential options would even be in a pinch, they could take Americans and put them on some of the ships in the Eastern Mediterranean. So all of that is something that the Pentagon has been working on since October 7th. In fact, when the Ford first went forward into the Eastern Mediterranean, that's the carrier strike group that's there now, one of the things officials were telling me that weekend was they wanted to be prepared should there need to be an evacuation of Americans from Israel or even from the region.
That's so interesting. Courtney Kube, we're glad to have you there live for us at the Pentagon. Thank you. Right now.
Thanks for watching.
Mr. B.
A long time ago, it was said that we were going to be out of the Middle East. We're not going to be doing any more fighting wars and whatever else. I think we all know by now that that was all a bunch of hogwash, hoi-polloi, and hullabaloo. We're there. Whether we like it or not, we are yet again involved in a war. Our personnel are getting rockets lobbed at them seemingly daily. 66 attacks thus far. And our pea-brained government keeps throwing spitballs back when they do anything at all. Eventually it's going to erupt into something that is the likes of which we don't want to see. We can't even possibly estimate what it's going to look like. But again, we are going to be wrapped up in another Middle Eastern war. And for all intents and purposes, I truly believe that we are already seeing the beginning of it.
Donnie?
Oh, I'll agree with Mr. B that we're going to be in the Middle East forever. When people talk about the U.S. and the Middle East now, they remind me of, like, remember Tweety Bird Sylvester, where Tweety Bird be like, he don't know me very well, do he? I think the first president and all these deals that went over there and they're doing with the Middle East, I feel like we're Tweety Bird, the U.S. Like, you fools don't know me very well, do you? I'll be over here for a long time juicing your ass. You guys gonna pay me some good money. I feel the U.S. is just gonna keep, and it is probably better for the administration right now to say, no, let's just keep fighting this proxy war with Iran. Let the little ones do it, because there's no financial gain. There's really nothing positive for us going to war with Iran. And there's got to be an end route, and there's got to be financial gains for us to go to war anymore. So I just think that financial gain is right now where we're at, where all these little proxy stuff. So we keep making all this small arms stuff, and we keep having all these little deployments and people around the world. War is a money-making machine, and I think they're everyone at the upper levels is content with little skirmishes right now. How of a sudden all of a sudden there's possible hope of Israel doing a ceasefire agreement or negotiating some kind of shit when everything up to this point you've heard that Hamas, and even Hamas said they don't want to negotiate. Now all of a sudden there's some kind of shit on the negotiating table? I don't fucking think so. That's just propaganda bullshit to keep the war machine going anymore.
Mr. D.
Are we talking about Bill Cosby still?
Hell no.
No.
I want to jump on the Middle East thing, but I just want to go back to our last segment, and I did a little research on the New Hampshire gun laws. Damn, Donnie, they are a constitutional carry, right to carry state, man, since 2017.
Even
Yes.
easier. He probably didn't have to leave the state to get all that. Hell, that's easy.
Yep.
If you
No.
like to carry.
Yep. No, you don't have to. Shit.
Mr.
So-
D, you didn't know that?
I did know that.
Then why didn't you
We are
say
constitutional
something?
carry.
Yeah, you do, boss. Yeah, you do.
I know. Which is why
Yeah.
I was telling you when the police officer stopped me, I offered and they said, no, I don't need to see this and that. I don't need any permits or anything else. She said,
Document.
"No, it's fine. Here, just give me your license and registration so I can write you a speeding ticket. That was it.
The authorities like to say documents.
Yeah.
Okay, but what was you saying about Israel, Demas?
Okay. No. So getting back to the New Hampshire thing, though, the security guard, that really kills me, man. A 63-year-old man lost his life, and the only thing he had was probably a cell phone. Why? And one, I know why the hospital does that. It's cheap labor. It's cheap labor. And two, it's eye candy for the public when they're there visiting. Oh, they got a security guard at the front door. Ooh. Some people find peace with that.
But
I
they also
don't.
have on staff, 24 hours a day, at least one state police officer, at all times at that hospital.
Okay, so he was probably the eyes for that state trooper.
And
It's just it's sad, I see a lot of we've all seen these security guards, and all they are is a first line of defense to 911. That's all they are, and they put their lives at jeopardy for a menial pay. Menial.
But there's Americans all
I will
across the
tell you
world doing that.
something that I'm not supposed to tell people, but you know what? Fuck them. This needs to be said. I used to work as a security officer at the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport. And you know what we were told as far as things, if something happened with an active shooter, what we should do, because we didn't carry any guns. They had police that were there, that were armed and so forth. We were not armed. We were not allowed to be armed. We were told, if something starts happening, get out of the building. I'm a uniformed security officer, and they're telling us to abandon our post.
Hell yes. I tell you the same damn thing, because you ain't going to win in a gunfight when you ain't got one.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, hell yeah. They're going to tell you to get out because...
Personally, I wasn't built to put on a uniform and then turn around and run the other way when there are people that need to be evacuated out of a freaking facility that someone's attacking. No. I like to put my head down on a pillow and sleep at night.
Well, you're talking about two different situations, though. You're talking about, yeah, okay, I can get people out. But when you're making the simple fact and say, oh, if somebody comes with a gun, get out the building. Yes, they're going to tell you that because the company, the hospital, nobody's going to be liable for you, especially when they know they haven't provided you with the resources to combat that. Hell no, hell yeah, I'm going to tell you get out the building. Is there a protocol? Maybe we try to get everybody out? Sure. Follow protocol. Help do that. But don't go engage the shooter if you ain't got a gun. Because you just going to die.
Look at you, Donnie. I sent you to liability school, and you came out smoking on her. Damn, Donnie. You sounded
Oh
just like
yeah,
a
man.
lawyer there, bro.
I'm just saying, man. This is another part of the gun conversation that aggravates me. We keep talking. We need to change the policies and the laws and change the way we think and we talk about guns. Go back to the points where it say it's not a toy, muzzle down. It's okay for a 7-year-old to know that. That way they know, don't come get my gun, you know? And if you do get my gun for whatever dumbass reason you think you need to get it for, at least you know to keep the damn thing down so somebody doesn't get shot on accident. You got to change the way you talk about it. When we have shooter drills in middle school, come on, man.
Okay, Donnie, but look at the no, Mister B. In the line of a little line of your defense, I object. No, look at the VA, Donnie. They have secure. They have their own security force, right?
Right,
They're
right,
they're packed. They're packed with the 9 millimeter, and
right.
they're supposed to be overlooking veterans' welfare. The
right.
behavioral clinic, beautiful $500,000 clinic they built. They got an armed officer there. What's the difference? That's why I'm asking. Why was that a security guard not packing? Maybe he didn't qualify for packing. Put a qualified person in that position, man.
Do we know
Okay,
that for a
but
fact?
No, no, we
yeah,
don't.
see, now you're
No,
talking
we
about a whole lot of stuff. There's so
That we
many
don't know nothing
different
about.
factors that
The
play
man
into
who was
that we
shot
can't
and
even
killed,
determine.
who was working as a security officer, was a retired police officer,
Okay, then he
who
had a
Okay,
had
gun.
been chief of police.
Well,
okay,
his reaction.
okay. You know what? That's great. He was all that. And rest his soul. Rest his family. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Condolences. But you're still that mentality of expecting someone because they have a security guard or because they're positioned for us to actually, as a society, expect them to run and confront somebody with a gun and they don't have one themselves. That's that's just asinine. That's where when I tell kids and I tell troops, that's when you cross the line and it's just flat out stupid.
Oh,
That we
that's
can't
my
ask of
point.
that of people.
Here's a
Hey,
guy who couldn't possibly be more qualified than what to have a gun, and they wouldn't let him have it. No, they had to have
Well,
there had to be
change the
another
policy.
state police trooper there, which is
that
the person that wound up downing the suspect.
Once again, then change the policies, change the rules.
Hey, and but you know something? I'm just here thinking, listening to you guys discussing this, and then I'm thinking back to the VA before veterans started knocking out psychologists. I mean, killing them there at the VA floor. The security wasn't big then, but
No.
after that murder that happened there, the VA went to full weaponry with everybody. I I wonder if this mental health is going to react the same way the VA did on the protective measures.
I don't know, but let's get back to
Okay, and then
Israel.
shit. Yes, I w- during the Biden talks with old President Xi, I wonder if they made discussion of Iran to say, "Hey Xi, check it out, bro. I maybe pop out Iran, but don't worry about it. I'll keep the oil coming from us." Did you think that happened? And was Taiwan on the agenda again?
So there's we got a quick well, not a quick video,
Let,
but we have a video on drone debate.
Wait, hold on, Dennis.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. Say that again. What you just said. You're
I lost it, Donnie.
you're
You know
making
why?
you're trying to say if Biden and Z talks about Iran, well, they did talk about Iran, but that's part of the, they were part of the topic when they in ISIS and all that when they're signing that agreement about AI and nuclear weapons. Those guys came up in those conversations. So they're going to do that agreement about making sure, artificial intelligence doesn't go into, certain military nuclear
Yes.
weapons or nuclear stuff like that. Yeah, they were talked about there, but it wouldn't surprise me a bit. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if if Biden said something about, I'll keep them down, I'll keep them going, but yeah, I'll let the oil run. Like I just said, there's nothing beneficial for us to actually go into combat for them. It would be beneficial for us if we got a backdoor deal with China to make some money and some trade to keep them at bay. Just like we're doing, right?
No, you know what's scary? Because you made comments about, wars make money. And also World War II, after World War II, our economy went crazy. Now, if Biden can calm China down for the rest of this time until the new election next year and the economy goes up, Biden's looking good for a re-election.
Yes.
No, I'm just looking here, and
I'm trying to, Mr. B.
I need to do a shout out real quick. Derek Forrester, hello. So y'all guys know Louisiana passed the law. Any ex-military can carry conceal without CCP, concealed carriers permit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
that's
more states. Good.
Do we have a video coming up there,
hold up. Let's talk about that.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Just because I'm a veteran now, I can go walk around in Louisiana with a pistol and it's perfectly fine.
With your John cut out.
Probably not. That's not probably fine. But that's the kind of jackass rules that just keep fueling the fire with the gun control. I don't care that I understand you're a veteran. Got my one myself, but do I really need to walk around with the weapon? No. There should be some checks and balances, and if you're okay, you think you're worthy enough to carry it or walk it around with it, then you should have no problem doing the paperwork and doing the checks and balances. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be some checks and balances.
But stuff, Donnie,
you can't have it all kinds of ways.
In Texas, there's no. Okay.
But private gun sales are no different than the black market that they bitch about because there's no oversight.
Exactly, but that's what they're trying to put together is some kind of oversight on it. Yeah.
That law doesn't help with any of that.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I said here's another state where you don't have to have any ID or nothing to carry.
Hey,
well, in this situation, it's military only. But
hey, you know what?
So do you have to show your military ID if a cop says, "Hey, what the fuck you doing with the gun?" I don't know.
You'd have to ask Mr. Forrester. But hey, what I want to know is, you think we can, as veterans, this is for veterans out there everywhere. You think we could get a class action lawsuit and sue the government for being marketing? That's the NIL money, man. We need to get paid. That shit's severance, man. You use me like a tool, shit. At least let me get paid. I'm just saying.
So I'm just saying.
So before we had jumped back to the New Hampshire shooting topic, which is fine. We were talking about drone attacks, and there was 66 attacks on U.S. troops in Iraq, and in that area, Syria and Iraq. Things of that nature. So it came up a little bit of debate about drone attacks. Am I correct here?
Yes.
So we got a 4-minute video on a debate on whether if drones I don't know. Go ahead, Donnie.
You don't need to play the video, Blaze. It was just a topic.
Yeah, we got to see what this debate's about, and we'll go ahead with it.
Do you think they're ethical or not?
Yeah, we appreciate the video. Yeah, we're gonna go with it.
This video was edited by Donald.
No, it was not.
No,
it was not.
Shut up, fool! It's a good video.
Military drones is, without question, the most controversial military area in the 21st century, and with good reason. However, my position is that used correctly, an important caveat, new technology, and in particular, the MQ-9 Reaper is the most potentially ethical use of air power yet devised.
You've got two sides of the coin. You've got, on the one hand, the use of the drones as supposedly targeting terrorist or Al-Qaeda related groups, and the evidence which has piled up over the decade that actually not only do
I just want to say one thing before this continues, right? Before, I don't even understand how our military didn't even think of this prior. But when we first started using drones, if we would have thought about putting a missile on those fucking things back then, we would have never had a problem with Bin Laden because we had him in our sights. He would have been gonzo.
are the targets often in practice civilians.
Yeah,
Donnie, you want to comment on that?
yeah, that's bullshit.
What's bullshit? They had him in their sights.
Yeah, but what president was it?
It was Obama.
You sure it was Obama?
No, not Obama.
Obama was the one that killed him.
It was Clinton.
Clinton had a chance. Bush had a chance.
Bush didn't do it.
We forget that Oliver North was talking about Osama bin Laden during the Reagan time.
Yes.
We warned him about this shit. We funded a war in Afghanistan. We knew about Osama bin Laden. We were targeting his ass for decades. They had multiple chances to kill that motherfucker long ago if they wanted to.
Right.
They chose not to because of whatever reasons, whatever they have.
Let's continue.
At the same time, with the technology of drones, you've got an exaggeration of the problem that already exists with air power against quite underdeveloped countries. But it's also a political issue because it raises the threshold for launching those attacks. From a political point of view, one of the big problems in Iraq and Afghanistan has been the number of NATO, American, British and other soldiers who've been killed from a public opinion point of view at home. But if you can launch attacks without any danger to your own troops at all, it's much easier to do. And that's one of the reasons, obviously, why they're more popular in the United States and to some extent here than all these other dimensions of the war on terror. So for both those reasons, I think they're dangerous and actually increase the threat of war and war spreading.
Military use of remotely piloted and even the CIA use of remotely piloted is very different, completely different. They're usually conflated together, often journalistically in order to provide maximum number of deaths, but it gives a misleading perspective on what military remotely piloted drones or aircraft are capable of. So on the RAF side, you have a handful, tragic nonetheless, but a handful of collateral damage fatalities in the last 3 years. And you have on the CIA operations, at least hundreds in Pakistan. But even the United States Air Force, and I've interviewed Predator Squadron bosses here, they're embarrassed by what the CIA do because there appears to be much looser rules governing the CIA. So I would never stand up for what the CIA do. I think it's strategically naive. I think it's irresponsible. But I do think that the technology does offer, militarily speaking, a very precise means of delivering air power and with the Hellfire smaller missiles without the risk of collateral damage when used with that intent.
I mean, it's interesting you say that you can't defend the CIA campaign, but that is the biggest part of the drone campaign at the moment. And I think what it illustrates is that if politicians can do those things, they will do them. And one of the risks we haven't discussed yet about the drone campaign is the spread of its use to other countries. If Britain, the United States and other Western powers think that it's okay, once they've discussed it with their own employed law officers, to attack and break the sovereignty of one country after another using predominantly drone attacks, other countries will get that idea and do the same thing. So
this fool right here on camera right now, he is saying that drones could potentially cause like a World War III. Anybody?
No, I didn't get that. I got one that's giving the pros and the other one giving the cons of a drone.
Right now, it's a Western tool of power, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be used by Russia, China, and other states. And very likely it will be if this kind of campaign continues uncontrolled in the form that it is at the moment.
I don't have to imagine the precise use of the Reaper because I have sat inside the box at Creech Air Force Base, watched the Royal Air Force in action. The precision is unbelievable. They could distinguish between you and I sitting in these chairs from 15,000 feet. And that is how the Air Force uses it under very strict rules of engagement. The American rules of engagement are utterly different. And so I do think there's an opportunity here for the UK to say to the world, here is a way to use this technology. You can choose to take a target, kill somebody, or not. You can say, we will wait until we can strike that target without hitting someone else. And that's what the Royal Air Force does, almost to the point of obsession at the moment.
My only question about the precision of military use would be that any target is only as good as the intelligence that provides it. So however theoretically precise the attacks can be, in practice, I think we see time and again that what you call collateral damage is absolutely a core part of the reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back in about 3.5 to 4 minutes. Stick around for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network, and we will discuss the situation with the drones. We will be right back.
this, it is very graphic video. An explosion before dawn on October 7th. The time is here, and the attack is underway. Allahu Akbar, God is great, they chant, as they cross the breached fence. Go right, go right, go right, they say. Less than 2 minutes later, they cross the second security fence. They are in Israel, heading towards a kibbutz. The sun is up, and a day that will reshape the region has begun. This video comes from the body cam of one of the terrorists who took part in the attack. It was obtained exclusively by CNN from the Israel Defense Forces. For the first time, we also see video inside Hamas tunnels before the attack. It is a look into a network of tunnels with what appear to be supplies stored in the darkness. Writing on the walls in Arabic says, "What's hidden is far worse." Above ground, the gunman fires his first shots. Go on, man, he screams.
Look that, yo, shoot.
They stop on the way. More than a dozen militants gather here to prepare for the next assault. One has several rocket-propelled grenades on his back. Minutes later, a group advances across an open field, moving towards the village of Kisufim. The gunman charges the last bit and spots an Israeli soldier on the ground. Others join in celebration.
Why are their faces blurred out?
Moments later, he is more composed as he turns the camera on himself. He says his name and that he's 24 years old. He's a father.
To protect the
He says
innocent.
He killed 2 Israeli soldiers. He asks God for victory and well-deserved martyrdom. On motorbikes now, they keep advancing, moving together along empty Israeli roads, or nearly empty. The man cheers as he sees bodies on the road. His is not the first wave. He rounds a corner. Here, we have seen this place before, among the first videos to come out after the attack. This is dashcam video from a car on the same road moments earlier. The car approaches a group of militants who open fire. The car coasts, its driver almost certainly dead by now. It is just after 7:40 in the morning. After a quick reload, the group approaches a military base near the kibbutz of
It's a
Re'im.
P90.
For 65 minutes since crossing the Gaza fence, they have had nearly free reign in Israel. The gunman closes the distance with a weapon he took from an Israeli soldier, opening fire.
That's an
Fire
F-16.
comes back.
Nope.
This man's part of the attack comes to an end.
Done.
The terror is just beginning.
Fuck.
One thing we've heard from everybody here, and that's the IDF, Israeli officials, as well as everybody on the street here, is that there will be a thorough, long, and in-depth investigation as to the catastrophic failures on the part of the Israeli security apparatus on October 7th. Aaron, that window gives you one small glimpse into how catastrophically Israel's security system failed on that.
Mr. B.
I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. The Palestinian people, the Hamas people, excuse me, played this thing beautifully. They were well practiced. It seemed to be very well disciplined. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they just went with it. I don't know who dropped what kind of ball from intelligence or whatever else, but these people went ahead and they did everything that nobody in their mind bothered to conceive of. Was it terrible? Was it horrific? Absolutely. Should it have happened? Absolutely not. But these people wanted to go ahead and produce a pogrom. They did it. They did a hell of a job of it. And it seems to me that they had an awful lot of pre-planning that was done. This is something that wasn't done off the cuff.
Mr. D.
Mr. Me?
Mr. D.
Thank you. Blaze and Donnie and Mr. B. When I said protect the innocent, when Blaze, made the comment, the faces were blurred. Nah, I was just being sarcastic. But does Fox News do that, or is that something that Hamas has taken the liberty to do that? Because I guess that was their GoPro or whatever video device.
That was CNN, and they got that from the Israel Ministry of Defense.
So why would they block their faces?
I don't know either. I have no idea.
I think CNN does that for liability purposes.
Yes. Yeah, bro.
Why? One of the fucking Hamas terrorists are going to sue them?
Well, I don't think it's more about getting sued. I think it's something else that. Yeah, I think it. I bet you CNN did that just to play it safe.
Right.
Okay. Because I mean, think about it though too. If I'm CNN, I might do that anyway because I'm not going to make myself a target for these crazy some bitches. You already see what they're capable of. They didn't care. They were going in just killing whatever was moving, man. I'm not making myself a target for them to come at because I put them out there. Yeah.
You know what made me chuckle is when the guy's like, go, man, and the co-pilot shooting down range is like, motherfucker, you ain't going to shoot me.
No sectors of fire, none of that was going on there, nothing.
And you know what's fucking sad is when they were doing the RPGs. I'm like, wow, you're shooting RPGs at people.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, they
don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. That video to me, I hope it shows everybody in America and everything else that, all against this war and how they were so evil and this is the enemy you're fighting now. Yep. And you better get used to it. And if you ain't willing to go and totally annihilate people like they are,
you know what?
You're not going to win. You better.
You're right to a point. But I still am a firm believer that they need to make public and show repeatedly, over and over again, the videos of them actively, physically murdering the people, not just shooting towards whatever else. If you want these people to come to their senses or have any chance of these idiots that are on the college campuses and they're in these marches or whatever else trying to support blah, 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 show them the images of people with their lives being taken from them. Show them the blood squirting across the street through the carotid arteries when the necks are sliced, the bones that are exposed, the heads lopping off. Show them these things.
So you want to take the same extremist that's out there protesting, you want to show them these videos of their martyr to be a martyr, and you're motivating them by showing them that. You understand that?
But Donnie, I think Mr. B's point is that all these protesters, and if I'm wrong, Mr. B, hit me with the cowbell.
No, you're on the right. You're on the right track.
Is that these kids don't believe what the Palestinians did to the Israelis? They don't
believe it. They don't know it.
And there's
especially
and there's grown folks too. Like there was this one gentleman just screaming back at the reporter, "Show me the pictures," and I'm like, yeah, that's the society we're in now. You got to show it in black and white.
Yeah, well,
if you don't, that's what you have social media for.
100.
That's what all the
not
bullshit.
Just a handful. 100 members of the intelligentsia that serves as educators at Harvard University signed a letter supporting
Hamas.
100 of them.
I read that as they signed a letter supporting the free will and Palestinian people, not Hamas. I read that differently, but I know there's some issues with that. But once again, that's the general public in the media who don't separate Hamas extremists from regular old civilians, Palestinian people that are there. They don't separate that, so they get mixed together.
It's getting harder and every day to separate.
Let these
just
people
what's
see for themselves.
Wait,
the horrors.
whoa. What you mean? What's so hard to separate a Hamas extremist from an everyday civilian in Palestine that just wants to live peacefully? There ain't nothing in between. You either are or you're not.
No, bro. You go in the mall. You go in the mall with a bunch of them.
Bunch of what? Normal everyday people or what? Or Hamas?
No, just mix it up. Just mix it up. And you put a Hamas individual, and a regular Muslim loving life. It's going to be hard to deter.
I know it is. That's everyday life.
That's the tactic they're going to use here, man. It's going to be hard to point. It's going to be hard to find them.
We already know all that. Shit. That they've been doing that for decades. Once again,
they've been doing that overseas. They've been doing that in their backyard.
You really think they've been doing it here? You crazy?
Well, they did already, but
exactly.
I think that was just a wake up call. I won't even say wake up call. Maybe that was the prime.
Let's talk about this ridiculous negotiations that are going on. So Hamas wants 100 for out 40 what is it, 42? So they want us to release 100 Palestinians for like 42 hostages, and they want a ceasefire for 5 days.
Okay, so what? Who took Palestinian people hostage?
I think this is
vice versa. I'm sorry, just I said it backwards.
But I think before they invaded Israel, I think they cleaned up the streets halfway decent with Palestine prisoners that were murderers and shit like that, and they had them in their prisons. And what they're wanting now is 3 prisoners. This is Hamas. They want 3 prisoners for 1 Israeli.
Right.
But all it is a stall tactic. That's all it is.
And you said it correct. Thank you for helping me out there. And they want 5-day ceasefire.
Right, so they can reload and
exactly.
My late mother used to say it best. People in hell want ice water too, but that ain't likely to happen either.
Right.
Well,
but
listen,
I don't know if they agree to President Biden's probably dumb enough to agree to shit like that, because all you're doing with those prisoners is you're giving them, fighters. That's all you're doing. They're going from that prison cell to a Hamas training camp, and they're fighting.
Prime Minister Ben Netanyahu is not going to go for this.
No.
He is still of the mind that they wanted the war, they got the war. Are they going to stop and give ceasefires? No. There's no ceasefire.
Man, Netanyahu, Putin, Xi, all these top figures, elitists, they all have a seat at the table, man. They all do.
What table's that?
Netanyahu deserve a place at the table?
Yes, man. They're all there, man. But I wouldn't say they're not on the same table. Putin and Xi, I think Xi's trying to find a good table to go sit.
She is already relaxing.
No, no, he just did. I think he just did a trip after old Brandon. He went to South Africa. Xi.
Yeah.
Yes.
But from what I read and everything, the conversation, everything, went fairly well with Biden's Min and Xi.
Mr. G, did you ever play in a poker tournament, a poker table, 10 players?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The smart person sits there and lets everybody else battle things out. This is exactly what she is doing. He's just standing there and letting this person go to that person, and this thing happen to that thing, and whatever else. And he's probably just sitting there with his arms folded, watching over everything. In the meantime, building up all his own military and building up their coffers and building up everything else that they can to make China on top when all the shit has finished hitting the fan.
Nah, China's economy is in bad fucking shape right now.
And that's why
They
Chief's
don't give
sitting
a
his ass
shit.
back.
They
Exactly.
don't care.
What do you mean he do, bro? Why do you think he's here?
They
Why
don't
the
look
fuck
at
do
things
you
for the
think
next
he's
quarter.
here?
They look at things over the next quarter century.
Listen, I understand that, but that's why he's here. Okay, so and that's why I'm saying things are fucking chill with China right now, because whatever happened, she came out happy about it. Okay, they're in a lot of trouble with their economy. But I got another question. See if anybody watching or the boys can help me out here with this one. You got one of the leaders of Hamas on fucking camera, having an interview with a fucking CNN reporter or a CBS fucking. Why isn't somebody in there fucking putting some caps in this dude's head?
Do you remember the Olympics,
Yes.
1972?
Yes.
Munich, Germany.
Yep.
What the PLO then did to the Israelis.
Yeah.
And then if you research it,
they're all gone.
Yep. They took their sweet time, and they got them all.
They're all
got
gone.
them all.
That's
The majority
exactly what the reporter said. They're all gone.
And the majority said most of them were assassinated in France.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I don't trust the fucking French, anyways.
Well,
no, I don't fucking trust them for nothing. Anyways, so I don't understand why he's not taken out. As soon as he leaves the studio, wherever the fuck he is, and he's driving, why, Donnie, answer that for me, man.
Intelligence gathering, and the U.S. has this thing about we will not be tied to terrorist attacks and rule of law or law of war, rule of war, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. We gotta abide by that. We just gotta abide by that. So yeah, we're not gonna do it because once again, it serves no major tactical purpose. What serves a better purpose is to watch that dude as he rolls out and just watch everybody he has contact with over the next 90 days, 6 months, 2 years, whatever, and gather more intelligence to cut the head off.
So keep them for that reason,
yeah.
And they know they're as long as the U.S. is involved with this, they know them son of a bitches that they can't be touched.
Right. And negotiate. Negotiate. Yeah.
And there is actually certain laws, international laws, that prohibit from, if there's times of conflict, from leaders coming on to do what is called humanitarian or political work or whatever. There's actually laws that say, that it's kind of, that's the safe zone, that's the green zone. We can't do anything.
Right.
So there's stuff out there. I mean, but you got to remember, at this point, everything the U.S. does has to be tactical. There has to be a tactical reason for it.
Right.
Exactly. Nothing that gets us better. But
so
a little more than spitballs.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so Mr. B, you got to take off a little early tonight.
I need to get out right now. I've had something that I've been alerted to that has just come up, a family matter.
Sure.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and have a great Thanksgiving. I will not be on tomorrow evening. We'll be traveling for Thanksgiving observations and all sorts of things. Stay safe, eat a lot of turkey, and don't belt too much. We'll see you.
Make sure you bring the dogs in.
Safe travels, Mr. B.
Okay.
Later. So, go ahead.
No, I was asking what Mr. Forrester, he said there's stipulations to that law, but then he said something about understand a veteran who can't shoot being totally against veteran CCP.
Yeah, he's saying, why, if you ain't going to shoot, let me carry then. That's what he's saying. I know that
I-
Louisiana talk.
Okay. I'm not.
If
I'm
he's
not
on,
saying that you can't shoot. My whole point is, if you're a veteran and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you should have no problem filling out a little piece of paper that says, "Hey, yeah, I own this little 9mm. I own this shotgun. Yeah, it's for me, for my self-defense. Yeah, I own it." You shouldn't have a problem with that. Do I want you to get a class to go walk around in public with a weapon? Hell yeah, I don't give a shit who you are. And I want you to actually take, just like we did in the military, the stupid ass classes you got to take once a year. No different than training you'd have in your current profession out there. Annual HR, type training and shit like that. Cybersecurity, because you deal with emails, Hey, I got no problem with that. Do it. Because if you all about doing the right thing, then you should have no problem with that. And all that shit about, oh, you're just going to drive it down into the black market, no different than it is now.
Hey, Donnie,
Yeah.
quick Jeopardy question for you.
Yeah.
What state has the strongest gun laws?
Probably
Illinois.
Massachusetts.
Illinois. Who has it now?
Think about it, guys. Oh, Governor Newsom state.
New York.
California?
Yeah.
California?
And
they got tighter than Illinois? Wow.
And why do you want a gun in California when they have the no shoot first law?
What is a no shoot first law?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It looks.
Hold on. So what? You gave all the gangsters and everybody just looking at each other now like, hey, you can't shoot first.
Right. As they're burying me, fucking everybody in the funeral is asking, how the fuck? Why didn't he shoot first? Oh, you can't shoot first law.
I gotta look this up. What the hell is this?
Oh man.
This website's crazy. It's every town.
Turtle link in the private.
Oh, I'm sorry. Duh.
Okay, no. No shoot first, I guess that is called, or shoot first laws are often mixed in with stand your ground laws. Okay. Well, coming out of California and the dumbass shit, the jackassery that comes out of that place, I can understand the name and the confusion. So.
You gonna open that up, Blaze, or you just gonna?
What you got there? What was this stuff you supposed to tell me about Army and not in the right?
Send that again. It's a broken link.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? The level of the crime should fit the time, right? But
it should fit the punishment, yes.
But Roger, but we can get to the and I'm not going to get to minute regulations that we did in the military. But there was things we damaged through neglect, and we wrote it off.
Yes.
Didn't we? But we should have got a no pay due, or an Article 15 and all that.
Right. Well, let's make no mistake about anything. Okay. Well, we'll talk about what I want to say, operating in the gray when we get out of break. We'll see y'all in a little while. Appreciate you.
everybody. Thanks for sticking around for the last segment of the night. And I believe Donnie wanted to continue with something before we had jumped to break. D, do you remember what that was?
I was talking about operating in the gray. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
We
Okay.
can't see you.
I know I'm coming, man. I was checking on my turkey thingy. I gotta start when to cook it. But what was I talking about? Operating in the gray. So yeah, corporations, businesses, all that do it. What you're talking about, Demas, that's operating in the gray. Yeah, okay, it's only $50 here. Man, that's all them ethical videos and all that bullshit, ethical videos for, finance and whatever, taxpayer dollars and company money. That all plays in there, and everybody does it. We did it just the same. It's back in the day. You remember the supply guy? He'd hook you up because we took care of the supply guys, right? Just like the cooks. So we got hooked up. Other people come in, you don't get shit. I mean, everybody does that, and it's at a point now where it's just a norm. And every time, like we used to talk in the Army too, every time you lower the standard or you didn't enforce the standard, you just lowered it, right?
Right.
So that's the same thing now with just the way things goes on. Just like the drone video, they're talking about morality and ethics with weapons and whatnot. And once again, the focus of the conversation is on the weapon, when the focus of the conversation is the person behind the weapon, operating the weapon. That's where the ethics and the morality come in. That's where the operating in the gray comes in, because you operate in the gray, and then sometimes when you was operating in that gray, Demas, you stepped on it. You stepped on your stuff, right?
Yep.
We stepped on your penis, but another word. And what'd you do? What happened then? Then somebody else was there with you maybe, and they were caught up in it. So both of you had to keep that in the gray. That's how the little bullshit starts and how it goes. But everybody does it. We just, we want to pick and choose our times when we want to enforce it. That's the only thing that's different.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Yes, Donnie, and no. And I'm going to break this in two areas: civilian and military. I mean, you'll get your pee-pee, slapped for stealing this or taking that or damaging this.
Yes.
But if you lose a life versus the civilians, the military is going to, I wouldn't say hang you, but they're definitely going to punish you.
Oh, yeah.
Rather, on the civilian side, you're going to get time served in jail and released the next day.
Right. And that's the difference in why I always say the conversation always focuses, just like it started off tonight, worried about how many guns the dude had in the van. Who gives a shit? I really don't care how many guns he had in the van. What I want you to do is figure out, like Mr. B said, how did he get that many guns? Where did he get them from? Yes. But we concentrate more on, just like when you evaluate something, there's always a process to it, right, Demas? You evaluate something, there's a trouble. Yes. Civilian world, Army world, whatever. Once it go back to the troubleshooting tree, right? So you look at all these so-called mass shootings, and last week we talked about it, where they got video or they got medical science and all this stuff where they say these common things occur. So there's a branch to go down. So go down all the branches and figure out where the laws failed so that you can change that part. Because that's the thing that it just always confuses me. We concern ourselves so much with the gun in the conversation, but the conversation should focus more on the human that was operating the gun. Because that's where the questions need to arise from and the answers need to come from. That's all I'm just
when will it start, or is just a fantasy of ours?
What, that we're gonna focus on the human behind the gun? Oh, that's a fantasy, bro. Because when we focus on the actual problem and we create results that work, then we cure something, right? And we all know how Congress feels about cures. No, it's better to treat. Right. It's more profitable, right? They apply the same principle to guns and everything else they do. More profitable, so no. We need to keep doing this fucking charade here.
Yeah, it's just an ongoing fucking debate, and it's going to go on forever and a day anyway.
Right. So the only thing
Donnie, I got a question for you, and I am very green to this. I do know that Congress people get lobbyist money, right?
Right.
Perfectly legal, correct?
Yes, it's perfectly legal for as a person or a company to donate to a political fund or to donate, campaign funds or some shit to, a company that say one politician is a majority stakeholder in or some shit. And it's perfectly legal, and that's how they get their monies.
Yeah, you get that shit,
But how
a
does
handshake
how
with
does
a
that,
wink, wink, and good to go.
so how does AOC convert that money from her campaign to her personal? Because that's got to happen. Or she collects interest on the campaign cash and grabs the interest, and it's good to go.
Maybe.
I'm being a jack off.
I'm not sure exactly how they collect it. I know they got probably a fucking credit card or whatever, debit card or Apple Pay. It's all fucking in there. And the
And
campaign funds can be used for so many things that, and expenses and all this shit. So they pay for all that way. They get their salaries.
and then so when these gun laws are going up in front of Congress, you know, I'm just thinking right now the
It's like
backstage, what's going
lobbyists.
on?
Like yeah,
Wow, money is moving.
it's like lobbyists to fucking
Am I
endorsing
correct, Donnie?
companies.
Oh, hell yeah. And all these big events and all this stuff where the lobbyists, like you're saying, Blaze, are at, money's moving. There's billions moving in them rooms.
Huh.
To be in them conversations in that room is where you want to be if you really
Right, you want to be a fly on the wall in that.
That's where the dirty ass shit comes into play, though. That's where the whole, should we do this and that? And they forget the whole betterment of the whole or who the fuck they're there for. They're just worried about lining their pockets.
Right.
That's where we all get fucked. But
well,
yes,
that's great. So, guys, we're gonna touch on the last topic of the night. We got plenty of time to cover this. It's a short story, so we're just gonna blast the video, and then, gentlemen, we will discuss.
With so much focus on the presidential and Senate races, it's easy to forget candidates aren't the only thing on the ballot this election. 32 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico are voting on ballot initiatives this year. Some have big spending behind them, while others are getting less attention. To break down some of the most impactful and interesting initiatives, let's bring in Dave Weigel. He's a national political reporter for the Washington Post, and he joins us now on the phone. Dave, thanks very much for being with us. Most dramatic use of the initiative process. Ride-hailing companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash have spent more than $200 million to pass it against some intensely vocal opposition. Why?
Well, that's right. And even in California, that's a lot of money. This is a major priority of these rideshare companies and something they're using their resources to promote. If you're using Uber in California, you're getting push notifications.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
I have the right one.
Legislation passed by the state that required independent contractors to get the benefits of employees. It is a major priority of these companies to stop that. They drafted this and got on the ballot this resolution, this change to the law that would remove.
Let's see if we can't get to it.
A little bit of skepticism about where it's all coming from.
Interesting. Well, with the confirmation of Justice Amy Coney Barrett and the Supreme Court deciding Friday whether to review Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban, this issue is a
change to abortion law that conservatives think.
Again, apologize.
Because the ball might move. Right. Oregon and Washington, D.C. both have ballot initiatives that would decriminalize.
Legalize medicinal or recreational marijuana. Well, one of the more common ballot initiative issues we hear about is drug legalizations. Several states have voted to legalize medicinal or recreational marijuana over the past decade, and more states have the chance this year. But THC is not the only drug on the ballot. Tell us more about that.
Well, that's right. Oregon and Washington, D.C. both have ballot initiatives that would decriminalize natural hallucinogenic drugs. So not LSD, but mushrooms, psilocybins, things like that. And the Oregon one, this is a state that has been basically, with the exception of one poorly written marijuana legalization measure, has been legalizing. Same thing in D.C. There's some political opposition, but the politics around hallucinogenics are a lot less fraught than the politics around drugs that are where you see big sentencing discrepancies, disparities. Those two localities, they might join Denver in making hallucinogenics something you can have on your person that you can trade without any legal penalty.
Well, some states have initiatives to clear out old laws and potentially rebuild their constitutions, including an amendment that would remove slavery as punishment for a crime. Tell us about that initiative.
There are a couple of those around the country. Nebraska is one of them. There are states that, and look, if you were to spend some time at home and look at your state's constitution, you might find there's stuff that has been in there for a long time unrecognized that people weren't paying attention to. So Nebraska might fully prohibit slavery with a vote. That's expected to pass this year. Iowa is voting on whether to have a constitutional convention, which is a bit less likely. Alabama, the same thing, to take another look at its constitution. But then you have stuff like Mississippi has a very complicated law that forces candidates for governor to win a majority of state legislative districts. That has been used before. It has the risk of an electoral college situation where somebody gets more votes for governor but does not become governor. And that is, in polling, likely to pass. I mean, Republicans have full control of the state.
Okay, so where are we here? Okay. So it says Oregon becomes the first state to decriminalize hard drugs like cocaine and heroin, which wasn't mentioned in that video. She mentioned psychedelic drugs and stuff like that. Donnie?
What? That's the prime thing for the whole gateway. Marijuana is the gateway thing argument right there. But I think that boils down to tax revenue. The mushrooms in that, there's people out there, there's studies out there that they're microdosing with that shit for things like anxiety and PTSD because they want to attack the neurons in your brain that bring the aura feeling or the good sensations. And
right.
Mushrooms is going to take off, but if you're going to go into cocaine and all that shit, well, hell, I guess you just want to be Amsterdam. And if you're going to be Amsterdam, you better follow their rules because that's the only place I know in the world where it works, you know?
Right.
I mean,
but again, my question was she didn't mention anything about a cocaine or heroin, decriminalizing that.
No, but that was on a ballot as part of all kinds of other drugs that goes with the psychedelics and all that. They're wanting to decriminalize it, and just like they did marijuana. Okay, you can have up to this much of maybe some cocaine or heroin, and it's okay. We're not going to arrest you, type shit.
Right.
That's what people they're seeing that, and they're seeing tax revenue from that shit, whether it's black market or not. If I have a heroin problem in my city, guess what? I call it an epidemic or pandemic or whatever the hell it is, and all of a sudden I get federal dollars and shit. Come on, man.
We got breaking news, guys. I know we were talking about the hostages and stuff. Fox News, CNN, ABC, all report Israel approves hostage deal with Hamas. That's their center.
Okay.
So maybe it is going to happen.
I don't know. I don't trust that for nothing. But hey, that's just me.
I agree with Donnie.
True.
I just think it's too much to give.
I think Hamas is ready to throw the towel in. I think they're probably down to 30% fighting power.
They probably are. And although the Shiite group, whatever Sunni or Shiite groups down there in Iraq and Iran, I can't remember, whatever. That big group in Yemen that has that big force that's backed by Iran. He was shooting ballistic missiles. I think that they've all done all that stuff, and they're seeing all their tunnels get just crushed. They're like, okay, we're not going to win this. We need to make sure we stop now, and then we need to regroup for another 50 years and figure out how we're going to do this again.
shit, 50 years. All you got to do is go out there on the streets
Well,
and
this article goes here. Israel Hamas ceasefire deal with hostage release is in final stages.
no, go to the headlines. Go.
What do you mean? This was
Okay, but
Click Fox News. Click Fox News channel, left corner.
yeah, I got you,
Left.
bro. This was just released 8:52. It's 8:55.
okay, but
Yeah,
they're in
yeah,
the final
check.
negotiations. But
In final stages.
yes, but do you really think Israel is gonna sit back and be like, okay, we made a deal with them. We're gonna no, they're gonna be like, yeah, we know we made a deal with them, and we already know they're not gonna keep it. So let's just make sure we keep ourselves in a position that if they do try something, we can just crush them. You know, I really would hope Israel would do that at least. You can't trust that. I just don't know. I don't understand.
You know, I think New York is very concerned for this holiday season, Thanksgiving. We all hope for peace and it's getting fat around the table, but New York is already up
Enhance
their
your wellness
security
and longevity
all
through our
areas.
Mayo Clinic programs. Or plan your meeting for
We
a
got the Mayo
memorable
Clinic.
corporate retreat. Discover the West Kept Secret.
Oh,
Go to
whoa,
Three Forks
really?
Ranch.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, everybody.
We're going on vacation, bro. Three Forks Ranch. They look like they had a nice little putting green right there. What's that? That was the 18th or what?
I think that was a drug rehab.
Oh, that may be where Hunter's going for a little bit just to play the part. That's another thing why are we still playing that charade? You see how that's died down. After the one
Yes.
wicked judge said, no, you can't do it, Second Amendment, just because somebody was high. Well, that just gave Hunter time. He's off now, so he ain't doing shit. He's
Yeah,
back
bro.
to making more money for daddy.
Yes, sir.
So,
You know,
D, you haven't really answered me. Do you think it's a good deal?
A good what?
The hostages.
What deal?
The hostage. 5-day ceasefire. And what? One Israel hostage for every 10 fucking Hamas or Palestine soldiers? Well, we know they're going to be turned into soldiers.
Dude, I can't quote on that. I won't even try to, man. You got to know what's. There's too many moving pictures there.
Any exchange of living life is worth whatever. So let's just call it that, like that, you know. An exchange of life, there's no dollar
what happened to the United States' policy that we don't fuck with terrorists? We don't negotiate with terrorists.
That was gone when we did we helped support the war against Russia and Afghanistan way back then. Yeah, we was dealing with terrorists back then. That they can say that policy is in effect all they want to, but they're full of shit. The U.S. deals with terrorists every day because we deal with the Taliban every day in Afghanistan now. The world deals with the terrorists every day. They do business with terrorists every day.
All right. Good explanation, brother. Thank you. Just, I'm just trying to see if we can get some kind of live image here from Fox News here. Or they're at a commercial break right now. So,
live image.
But getting real, just to add something on that Reaper story we carried today, and was it third or second segment?
The drones?
Yes.
Second.
Man, as of 2017, there's 300 and plus of them. We use it. Britain. Hot damn it. Britain and I want to say France, and of course, if the U.S. has it, CIA and Department of Homeland Security. Those are the other guys. But wow.
No, what?
Just the numbers of them Reapers out, them drones out there and stuff, man. I heard one report when the Houthis knocked one out. That's a $34 million machine.
Mm-hmm. But
wow.
What I find more disturbing in that video is how the guy says there's different rules for different compartments within the U.S. government. Oh,
yes.
That's
yes.
Well,
yes,
I really want to see what the base rules are because I understand the whole, and you know, like we used to say before in the military, you can always add on, right? When it comes to policy letters and bullshit, but you can't take away from the base. What's the base? I want to know what the base is. Because I understand, yes, you need different rules for different departments because different departments have different functions. I get that. But to have them so loose that this guy comes back and says the shit the CIA uses for rules is like none.
Except for today, well, maybe a couple of days ago, we actually retaliated. But what is Biden waiting for? 66 attacks on U.S. fucking personnel in Iraq and fucking Syria.
You know, to the average military person, that's not.
I got it right here, guys.
An attack could be a bullet.
Got it right here, guys.
Israel approved what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling a lull in the fighting with Hamas. In exchange, Hamas will reportedly return 50 hostages, women and children, during a 4-day pause in fighting. And just in, Reuters is reporting that Hamas has also just agreed to the deal. Here now with the very latest from Tel Aviv, Alex Hogan is with us. Alex?
Hi, Judge Janine. This is major news. After weeks of trying to strike a deal, Israel tonight says that it has approved this hostage negotiation deal. And what this would do, essentially allowing the release of 50 hostages, women and children, in exchange for a 4-day ceasefire, as well as the release of Palestinians currently being detained in Israel. Israel also tonight says that if 10 additional hostages are released every single day, that would allow another pause in the fighting. We have heard concern from Israeli officials on the ground that any ceasefire would allow Hamas to regroup, regain its forces, and then fight back. But Israeli security officials tonight say they support this plan and that the security and intelligence will be maintained on the ground. And families have been protesting day in and day out, calling on the government to strike a deal. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked President Joe Biden for some of the help in these talks. But while this agreed release of 50 people is a great win for people here in Israel, there's only freeing up 1/5 of the people that have been taken. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the way that this will work is that the hostages will likely be released in several groups. And what we're expecting to see is that they could be released as soon as within 24 hours. Only, of course, if everything from here until then goes according to plan. Judge Janine.
All right. Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls this a lull and not a ceasefire. Is there any significance to that?
I think there is, because looking at the strategic effort that we have seen the military continuing to move forward, not only in the north, but in the south, there is the real concern that Hamas could regroup. So there is going to have to be a lot of preparation on the ground to make sure that Israel is able to keep its strategic offenses and its ground forces where they are without giving up territory and without giving up any of the gains that they have made in the last several weeks being on the ground. But it is worth noting, of course, back here tonight, this is just a major celebration for the families who are hoping that their loved ones could be a part of those 50 who could be released.
Well, let's hope for the best there.
Yes, and I have to excuse me for the laugh. And I was just laughing, a damn ass tank in the middle of a city, just boom.
Yeah, they leveled it. They fucking leveled it. They leveled it.
But I think them guys are going to retreat from their positions. What you say, Donnie?
Who's them guys? Hamas?
Israelis. No, the Israelis.
No,
I mean, you can't.
They're going to retreat.
The word that, you know, the second part that she talked about, the low. The president said there's a low. Yeah. Basically saying, hey, I'm not done whipping your ass, but yeah, we're going to come back over here. We're going to let some hostages go. Because anytime, you know, I think as a political leader, anytime you can get life returned to you that at least can have the opportunity to be free, you got to take it, right?
Yeah,
you got to do it.
But guys, you got to go.
But he knows, hey, I ain't done whipping your ass, but if you play nice, I'll stop whipping your ass. Basically, I think that's what he's saying.
All right. Peace and love out there, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Whatever the hell you want me to say to make you not fucking freak out. Again, peace and love to everybody out there. D.
Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. I hope y'all enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family and your loved ones. And we'll see you next week.
Donnie.
Hey, just like always, think positive, do positive everywhere you can. You know, happy holiday season. We'll say it one time, be over with it. But thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. However we're connecting. We'll see y'all next week.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact.